Hello, good morning students of standard 6. I am doing your chapter 4, chapter in history. What books and burials tell us? Books, you know what books are. Burials are in the olden days, whenever anyone died, they used to bury them in the ground. Okay, like how the Christians do or the Muslims do. That's called burials. So from there we have learnt a lot of things. Now let's see what we know about those olden days. There were 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. The oldest from here is the Rig Veda. It was composed, people were learning it 3,500 years ago. It includes, there are 1,000 hymns, more than 1,000 hymns, which is called Sukta. These hymns are in praise of gods and goddesses. They're praising all the gods and goddesses. There are 2 important gods that they believed in. Agni, the god of fire. Indra, a warrior god, the god of warfare. And Soma is a plant which was made a special drink which they should drink. So that plant was called Soma. These hymns were made by holy men which were called sages. Now these priests, these sages, they taught and learnt, only men learnt, not women. Only men learnt. And they learnt by heart. There were no books written. So they had to learn every line by line, word by word, by heart they had to learn. And the Rig Veda is the oldest Veda which I told you, and it was written in an old Sanskrit, not the Sanskrit which today you learn in school. It was an old Sanskrit. These books, nowadays the books you use in school are printed. They're printed, you can read, and they're written. But in those days there was no written work. They had to learn things by heart. And they had many centuries later, many centuries later, books were written, composed. Only 200 years ago, books were printed. So just imagine, for so many years, there were no books that people had. They had to learn things by heart. You are so lucky that you have written books today and you don't have to learn the whole book. Imagine learning 1,000 verses. You have written books where you can read whenever you want. So how lucky you are. So this is unit 1 of chapter 4 in history.